WNBA free agency is officially underway, Annie. So when you see these names and the options that the Sky have, what do you think that they're cooking up?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because Angel and Camilla are very interesting pieces. And when you're talking about, getting the right players in here, there is intrigue when you have young core pieces like that, because you could be part of developing them and developing towards a title contending season. But the reality is the Sky are still very far from that.
Angel Reese kicked off her podcast with a lot of confidence, talking about building a strong team in Chicago. But fast forward to now, and the situation couldn't be further from what she envisioned. Free agency is in full swing, yet Chicago's roster is still nearly empty. The top free agents have checked out their options and decided to pass on the Sky.
You don't get told no. Like, you're going to get the yeses. You're going to get more yeses than nos, and just being able to know that. So I'm excited for that. I know that's going to come soon.
Not a single all-star has agreed to join the Sky. While other teams are stacking up with top talent, Chicago is left scrambling for answers. Free agency was supposed to be Angel Reese's opportunity to build a championship-caliber team, especially after all the work she put into recruiting at Unrivaled. Instead, it's turning into a tough reality check. Could this be the ultimate sign that players around the league aren't interested in whatever Reese is trying to build in Chicago? Let's break down how this free agency mess happened.
The whole city is obsessed with you.
I know. I love it
all
here.
the time.
I feel like Baltimore here. I love it here. It does.
Kind of. A little bit. Little DMV action. Yeah. But Chicago is a number 3 market in the country.
Really?
It's New York, LA, and then Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago, y'all have everything. I'm not gonna lie, y'all have everything here. Like, it's nothing here that I'm like, oh, I gotta go to a different city for it. Like, everything has been here.
Angel Reese boldly claimed she was going to build a super team in Chicago. But now that free agency has arrived, all the Sky have to show for it is a roster full of uncertainties. Imagine Reese going through her contacts, sending out messages, and making calls. But each time she checks her phone, all she sees are unread messages and polite rejections.
Like Angel Reese and Camilla Cardoso too have brought relevance to this team that they've desperately needed in a time when, again, if not for them, they'd be completely irrelevant because of the product that they're putting on the floor.
And also make Chicago an attractive spot when you have Angel Reese and Camilla Cardoso right there, two bigs that really shined in their rookie season.
You'd think with so many top free agents available, at least one would choose Chicago. But nope, the silence has been overwhelming. No big signings, no excited social media posts, and no championship-level players heading to the Windy City. Just Reese, left wondering what went wrong.
So, lads, this is not great news, for the Chicago Sky, who are a team that obviously, they're rebuilding. This is a team that is 100% rebuilding. The problem is, they don't own their pick. So, if the Chicago Sky run it back, they're probably not making the playoffs next year. Look, I think there's going to be an improvement from Angel Reese. I think it's going to be an improvement from Cardoso. But that team with no Kennedy Carter, it's going to be real tough to get any offensive power.
Let's take a look at the big names that were out there. Kelsey Plum, Jewel Lloyd, Brittany Griner, Alyssa Thomas, Dawana Borner, Natasha Howard, Satu Saberly, and Kelsey Mitchell. These are the types of players that can turn a franchise around in no time. So, how many of them actually considered Chicago? Not a single one. Maybe there was still hope, maybe Reese had a plan nobody saw coming. But now, with most of the top players already signed elsewhere, it's clear Chicago wasn't a destination for the best talent. Reese's big recruiting effort wasn't just a letdown, it was a complete disaster.
So, not a good day for the Chicago Sky. Not a good day at all, because we have heard news from the journalist who reports on the WNBA, and because she is not a homer like a lot of the other people, like normally journalists are complete homers for one team. One of the actual credible journalists reported on something. Sky fans aren't happy. They all want her fired.
To make matters worse, the Sky front office didn't help Reese out at all. Their leading scorer, Kennedy Carter, didn't even get a qualifying offer. The message was loud and clear. Chicago wasn't committed to keeping its top players, let alone bringing in new ones. And those trade rumors? They went nowhere fast. It's almost like the moment Reese started pitching the super team vision, free agents couldn't get away fast enough.
Kennedy had an incredible season for us last year, says the GM.
she's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level in our league. We absolutely appreciate all she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff and we'll make changes to our roster. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
So where does this leave Angel Reese, the so-called superstar who was supposed to bring top talent to Chicago? Well, she might be stuck leading a team of role players and rookies instead. This isn't the powerhouse she had in mind, it's a tough reality check. So, what went wrong? Why did every top free agent take one look at Chicago and decide it wasn't worth their time? Let's break it all down.
Is Angel Reese, did she just run a coach out of town, and is she running a player out of town? Their best shooter out of town? Because Kennedy Carter looks like she's ready to book it out of Chicago.
While Angel Reese was busy hyping up Chicago as the next WNBA powerhouse, the top free agents were making moves that left the sky behind. Imagine a frenzy of signings across the league, with superstars choosing teams that had everything Chicago lacked: stability, leadership, and a real shot at winning. Let's take a closer look at where the stars decided to shine.
The Seattle Storm are sending Jewel Lloyd to the Las Vegas Aces in a blockbuster three-team trade that moves Kelsey Plum to the LA Sparks. That's according to ESPN. As part of the deal, Seattle receives the second pick in this year's WNBA draft from LA in exchange for the Storm's number 9 pick, while the Aces also receive the 13th pick, a second-round selection from the Sparks.
First up, we have Kelsey Plum. You remember her, right? The sharpshooter who was a key part of Las Vegas's back-to-back championships. Well, she's heading to Los Angeles. That's right, the Sparks just became a serious contender. And why LA over Chicago? Simple: elite coaching, a front office that knows what it's doing, and a franchise that isn't in complete chaos. Sorry, Angel, but if that stung, what happened with Jewel Lloyd must have been even worse. Lloyd, a Chicago native, had the perfect chance to return home and play for her city. If playing with Angel Reese was such a draw, this should have been a no-brainer, right? Wrong. Lloyd took one look at the Sky's situation and headed straight to Las Vegas, where she'll team up with Aisha Wilson. That's right, she chose to chase championships rather than whatever mess is happening in Chicago.
According to WNBA Insider, that Illinois native Jewel Lloyd will not be going to Chicago Sky. And obviously, they didn't keep Kennedy Carter. And it's looking like one player, obviously, that's been in Chicago across her careers because of her Illinois roots, is Seattle Storm guard Jewel Lloyd.
Then there's Brittany Griner, the dominant center who can dunk with ease. She's heading to Atlanta, joining a dream team that just got a whole lot more dangerous. Meanwhile, Alyssa Thomas, the queen of triple-doubles, is now calling Phoenix home. See the pattern? These players didn't just avoid Chicago, they ran straight to teams with clear direction and strong leadership. Teams where they could thrive, not waste time dealing with locker room drama.
Let's talk about the 3 big names you gotta know: Alyssa Thomas, Natasha Cloud, Brittany Griner. Let's start with Brittany Griner, joining Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard in Atlanta. Dream team? Brittany Griner was drafted to Phoenix in 2013, so it's kind of about time, and I'm so excited to see what Atlanta turns around this next season, because they really need her. Phoenix is also losing Natasha Cloud and Beck Allen, along with the number 12 pick overall in this year's draft, to Connecticut. Connecticut is giving up the triple-double queen, Alyssa Thomas, and Ty Harris.
Speaking of Phoenix, things get even worse for Angel Reese. Not only did Alyssa Thomas land there, but she'll be teaming up with Satou Sabally. That's a dangerous duo that instantly makes the Mercury much stronger. But here's where it really stings. While Angel Reese was busy trying, and failing, to recruit, the Indiana Fever were out here actually building a championship contender. The Fever just pulled off a major off-season overhaul, bringing in battle-tested veterans like Natasha Howard, DeWanna Borner, Sydney Coulson, and Sophie Cunningham. They even swiped Reese's own teammate, Brianna Turner, right from under her nose. And as if that wasn't enough, they re-signed Kelsey Mitchell. Indiana just went from a promising young team to a legit title threat, all while Chicago stayed stuck.
The Indiana Fever are that golden destination, and I can't help but laugh to the fans and the people online and the media commentators, unfortunately, who said that nobody wanted to play in Indiana. That doesn't make any sense.
So, what does all of this mean? It means Angel Reese talked a big game, but the real stars weren't buying it. Not only did these top free agents turn down Chicago, but they actively made the teams that will be in the Sky's way even stronger. It's almost like they saw the warning signs and decided to avoid the drama before it even began. But wait, there's one more move that might be the final blow to Angel Reese's super team dream. Want to hear more? Once boasting about turning Chicago into a powerhouse, Angel Reese now finds herself staring at empty lockers and unanswered texts. The reality is hitting hard. Her dream of recruiting top-tier talent is quickly turning into a nightmare. It's starting to feel less like an all-star squad and more like a pickup team at the local YMCA.
Just trying to give myself some grace because I know I'm not the player that I want to be just yet, but also kind of patting myself on the back, telling myself that I'm still doing great.
Let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the lack of elite talent in the Sky's practice facility. Did you know Chicago's current setup feels like practicing in a high school gym compared to the rest of the WNBA? While teams like the Fever, Liberty, and Aces are training in state-of-the-art facilities, the Sky are stuck in the past. And that much hyped new facility? It won't be ready until 2026. In a league that's growing faster than ever, that might as well be a decade away.
Every woman should be able to step in and be able to go into a locker room and be able to have a safe space, or go into a gym at 3 o'clock in the morning when they want to do that. So I want to be able to just invest.
And things only get worse when you look at their record. Remember when the Sky were actual playoff contenders? Well, last season they collapsed harder than a cheap lawn chair, finishing with 13 wins and 27 losses, their worst record since 2020. And this is after bringing in a so-called generational rookie in Angel Reese. Turns out, hype doesn't win games.
So it's just been great being able to see my impact on and off the court, and not just in sports, but just being able to be a cultural impact as well has just been great.
But wait, it gets even messier. Reports suggest the Sky's locker room chemistry is as chaotic as a reality TV show. And who's stirring the pot? Angel Reese. Instead of making Chicago an appealing destination for free agents, she's driving talent away faster than a bad Wi-Fi signal. Gabby Williams, whom Reese personally tried to recruit, flat out said, "Thanks, but no thanks." Even Kennedy Carter, who isn't exactly known for holding back, didn't shy away from sharing her thoughts on Reese before she left.
According to league sources, Weatherspoon had lost the locker room because of a culture that catered to the needs of a few players. Dear Lord.
And speaking of dysfunction, let's talk about the Sky's front office. It's like a revolving door at a fast food restaurant, people coming and going, zero stability. No wonder WNBA analyst Annie Costabile pointed out that free agents are wary of Chicago's instability. Who would willingly sign up for this mess? So, where does that leave Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky? Not in a great place. While teams like the Fever are building legitimate dynasties, the Sky can't even convince players to return their calls. It's like watching a slow-motion train wreck, painful, but impossible to ignore.
And I can't help but wonder, is that what happened here? Is Angel Reese and the way she wants to play, and I don't know if you've ever noticed her social media post, but she's very me, always. Me. Well, you may have a player that has decided that she's had enough of that.
Throughout the year, WNBA players were demanding to be given credit for elevating the league. Angel Reese claimed that she was along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media. They wanted us to believe that the WNBA was exploding in popularity. They wanted to keep all the credit for themselves while downplaying the impact of the only star in the league, Caitlin Clark. Well, now, jealous WNBA players will have the opportunity to earn that credit. Now, players like Angel Reese, they will be given the chance to test their star power.
Yes, it is unrivaled. It is also unwatched. Look, let's be honest. We can sugarcoat it all you want, but if you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the NCAA tournament playing women's basketball, you got nothing. Zero zip. Now, Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.